Vaudeville, a form of theater that has influenced the greatest cultural importances in our time. It had great acts and even greater people. When the need for live performance started to become far more desired in contemporary culture, this amazing art form evolved and thrived within it, to where it still stays alive and well. Hello, my name is Patrick Strigle, and in this presentation, we will take a good look into the history of this great theater tradition. From its humble beginnings, its heyday, to the many wonderful people that starred in its performances, to its current place in our culture. The old days of vaudeville were great and still are remembered by a few lucky people who still say it was one of the better forms of entertainment. Well, you know what they say, there's no school like the old school. Vaudeville, or variety entertainment, has been around for about 140 years. And during that time has become an inspiration to our culture and has influenced part of our current entertainment. But where did this great form of theatrical entertainment come from? Well, let's find out. The name vaudeville in itself was first coined after the performances of the Sergeant's Great Vaudeville Company from Louisville, Kentucky, and the French phrase Vaudeville, or voice of the city. But after a while, it came to mean any type of variety entertainment in America. Now, originally, variety entertainment was limited to circus acts and freak shows, and really only had a few acts. But after the American Civil War, new forms of entertainment started to crop up, and people needed to be entertained. The first person to attempt bringing vaudeville to a widespread audience was a bright man by the name of Tony Pastor. A former ringmaster gone theater owner decided to put his money into polite variety programs in his New York theaters, hoping by doing this he would draw in the average middle-class families of the time as patrons. However, the one man who deserves his current title in history as the father of vaudeville is Benjamin Keith, who revolutionized vaudeville as polite family entertainment for all to see while maintaining a strict set of rules for a courteous audience. When vaudeville started to become more popular, many more people went to see shows. It became so popular that when Thomas Edison first experimented with recording film, he would ask vaudeville performers to come and do their routines while he recorded. Yup, the first home videos were of vaudeville acts.
I think when you think of vaudeville acts, you're going to think of famous people. And a number of people come to my mind. People I grew up was Abbott and Costello, Red Skelton, who I admired, and of course Red Skelton died in my lifetime. So when he did die, I was heartbroken. He was amazing with characters that he could come up with, his voices. But you got famous dancers that broke the line, as well as with the black and white issue. And so famous dancers like Bill Bojangles Robertson.
In vaudeville theater, there were many diverse acts and performances. One of the great things about this was that there really was something for everybody in terms of entertainment. If you love music, it was there. If you love comedy, you are in luck. If you want to catch a circus act or a freak show performance, go on ahead. There were even some relatively dirty acts for a certain different crowd in the way of burlesque and cabaret. A few acts that were uniquely American in origin, like Wild West shows, ventriloquism, slapstick comedy, tap dancing, small theater skits, and singing in concert, all which have thrived throughout the years as it has made us all laugh, cry, and beg for more. But vaudeville really came into its glory days in the 20s and 40s, with performers like Annie Oakley, a sharpshooter from Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, Harry Houdini, a gray escape artist and magician who became famous not only for his many gray escape tricks, but also for his disappearing elephant performance, Bob Hope, a great comedian and excellent singer. There was also Abbott and Costello, a great duo of comedians who started out doing shows for the USO and were made famous for their Who's on First sketch. Then there was Edgar Bergen, a ventriloquist who was famous with his unforgettable partner, Charlie McCarthy, who appeared in several shows and films before and after his stage career. There was even one performer in particular who helped to break the race barrier, which had been a great problem in the United States in both society and entertainment. This man was the tap dancer known as Bill Bojangles Robinson. But as time went by and television came into being, not as many people went to local theaters and stages to see acts. Vaudeville was facing a major decline in shows seen in person. But just when all hope seemed lost, a new wave came in with the era of New Vaudeville, which were television shows that featured many live acts on screen. Some examples of these shows were The Ed Sullivan Show, that had a lot of famous acts, and The Ed Wynn Show. This new and unprecedented format allowed this great tradition to keep on living. It could be said that this new version was an evolution to the old stage, because it led to more and more people to flock into show business.
Vaudeville acts I don't think will ever lose popularity. There's a lot of people that find it distasteful, but at the same fact, it will always be popular. Look at out in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, but in Las Vegas specifically, you have what they call theater of the absurd. You got the Blue Man Group, you got Stomp, you got various other acts, tap dogs, that thrive on a talent.
These days, vaudeville still thrives on stage, and the acts are still diverse as ever. You can see these acts on the streets of New York City, in the many nightclubs and casinos of Las Vegas, and a great many more places. Even Broadway keeps the tradition alive in this day and age by way of musicals and many plays. If you need to be entertained and the things you do bore you to death, go out and see a show spawned from this great tradition. Thanks for joining us, and it's been fun all. That's all, folks.